So if you use the AMEX Cobalt card effectively over the course of your first year with it, you should be able to take a completely free trip by the end of your first year if you use the points gathering hacks that I outlined in today's video. Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Griffin and today's video is all about how you can get the best credit card points deal possible in the shortest amount of time by leveraging what is, in my opinion, one of the best Canadian credit cards that you can get today, and also by leveraging certain spending habits in order to get the most amount of points per dollar spent moving forward on your purchases. Now, as you can see from the title, we're talking today about the American Express Cobalt card. I highly encourage you to watch this video all the way through because I'm going to be giving a pretty in-depth review on the card after 1 year of ownership, and we're also going to be diving into different tips and tricks that I've learned throughout the year on how you can leverage this card to get the most amount of points per dollar spent moving forward, giving you almost a 5% cash back on all your purchases. So straight off the bat, let's take a look at what this card actually looks like, because I know the aesthetic factor of a credit card can appeal to a lot of people. Now, contrary to other credit cards such as the Platinum and Gold cards from Amex, this card is unfortunately made out of plastic. But even being made out of plastic, the card's really sleek and aesthetically pleasing, and at the end of the day, the points per dollar spent on this card as well as the perks that come with it are really what make this card valuable in the long run. So what would make the AMEX Cobalt card actually be worth acquiring if you're looking to get a new credit card over the dozens of other credit cards that are available on the market today? By looking at the webpage on American Express's website, it's quite evident that their target market is mostly individuals who like to go out to get a bite to eat, but this is only due to the point breakdown, and absolutely anyone can benefit from this card. Now, on the front page, we're made aware of the 19.99% interest rate that would be applied to your balance on a yearly basis if you start incurring interest. However, in the first 6 months of card ownership, you can enjoy a special lowered interest rate of 7.99% on purchases. Now, this could be somewhat attractive, but either way, you should absolutely avoid paying interest at all costs on your credit card expenses, not only from a monetary point of view, but also to avoid penalizing your credit score. Other basic mentions include that this is in fact a credit card and not a charge card like some of the other cards which are charge cards that you need to pay the balance off in full at the end of the month. You can also get as many duplicates of the same card as you need at no extra charge to you. Now, unlike Amex's other cards, the Cobalt card comes at the expense of $10 per month, which is applied directly to your statement for a total of $120 per year. But as you'll discover in this video, possessing this card is well worth the $120 annual fee. So let's just jump right into the key benefits of this card, and then we're going to be looking at a point breakdown structure of every single spending category that this card will give you points on. And this will be followed by how many points you could expect to have accumulated over the course of a year if you use my tactics and tricks to optimize the amount of points that you're going to gain on the Amex card. So first off, we have the American Express sign-up bonus for this card, which could give you up to 30,000 points over the course of your first year. To access the entirety of these points, you're going to get them in increments of 2,500 points for every single month that you put over $500 on this credit card, which for most people is pretty doable and well worth it. And we will be diving into the actual dollar value of one Amex point later in this video, but on average, about 30,000 American Express points should equate to about 300 Canadian dollars. Let's now dive into the actual point breakdown for every single dollar spent on this card per category of spending. The first category here is called Eats and Drinks, and this groups restaurants, bars, food delivery services, and grocery stores, and you're gonna get 5 points per dollar spent in this category. And this essentially means that every single dollar that you spend in this category is going to give you 5% back on all your purchases. The second category is called Travel and Transit, and this applies to cabs, hotels, vacations, and anything that's related to gas and basically moving around the city. For every dollar spent in this category, you're going to receive 2 Amex points. And finally, every other purchase that you make that's outside of those 2 other spending categories are going to give you 1 point per dollar spent. So now that we've looked at the point breakdown per spending category of the Cobalt card, I really want to highlight the fact that this card has the possibility of giving up to 5 points per dollar spent on the card. Now, after a year of ownership, I've basically realized that American Express puts your purchases within one of the 3 categories based on the name of the merchant. You can easily leverage this reality to your advantage and to give you the most amount of points possible on all your purchases. So if we look at my point statement here, you can see that some of the vendors will give me more points than others. So for example, Kudo Mobile here, which is my cell phone provider, does not fall into one of the 2 point categories that gives me more than 1 point. So I got 57 points per $56 spent. Now in contrast to this, Metro here, which is a grocer, gave me 5 points per dollar spent. So 165 points per $33 on average spent. And the same applies here to Couche-Tard, which is actually a gas station here in Quebec. But for some reason, they awarded me 5 points per dollar spent at this vendor. So although this vendor should technically fall under the travel and transit category, giving me 2 points per dollar spent, I'm leveraging this to give me 5 points per dollar spent. I'm leveraging this vendor basically to give me 5 points per dollar spent. So this purchase, for example, $98 worth of gas should have actually given me 200 points, but I got 500 points instead. Now, if you do happen to live outside of Quebec though, you might not be able to use Couche-Tard, for example, as a little hack to give you more points than you should be awarded. However, if this doesn't apply to you, you can use this next hack that I've learned that's really, really beneficial. I use it all the time and it gives me 5 points per dollar spent all the time. So as I mentioned previously, American Express awards you this certain amount of points based on the actual name of the vendor. So what you can do here is actually leverage gift cards to give you more points per dollar spent on other categories if you're looking to make a purchase, and you can just buy them at your actual grocer. So for example, I use Metro here as the grocery store where I buy the gift cards for gas cards for my car, and then for any other purchase. You can buy gift cards for Best Buy, Apple, Spotify, pretty much any single category, also clothing. You can buy gift cards there and it will just fall under the name Metro and give you 5 points per dollar spent. So essentially what this means for you is you can easily figure out a grocery store that accepts American Express and then take an extra 2 seconds to go to the gift card section, pick out the gift cards that you need for the purchases that you're going to make in the near future, and then you're going to be getting 5 points per dollar spent on all your purchases. So just a quick little example here. If you're looking to buy a new camera that happens to be $1,000 at Best Buy, if you buy 2 $500 gift cards or 4 $250 gift cards or whatnot, you would essentially be getting $50 back in American Express travel point credit on your $1,000 purchase, which is really, really good in my opinion, and you should leverage this to the max. And on top of it, if you purchase it in your first year with the card, you'll get an additional $2,500 point because you spent over $500 in 1 month on the credit card, giving you a total of $75 worth of AMEX points on one single purchase that you were going to make anyways. We're now going to do a quick calculation as to how much you could expect in terms of dollar value at the end of the year by applying your monthly spending habits onto the AMEX Cobalt card. So I'm going to be doing a quick calculation myself here, giving you a rough estimate, but I highly encourage you to go onto RateHub yourself and then input your actual numbers into this calculator to give you a rough estimate of how much you could expect at the end of the year in terms of dollar value. Now, as I said earlier though, we're going to use the hack of groceries in order to show you the actual high-end potential as to how many points you could accumulate over the year if you buy gift cards for certain spending categories. So I'm going to say straight off the bat that I'm going to spend about $300 per month in groceries, and this is pretty realistic for me. Now, gas, I would spend about $50 a week, so a total of $200. But like I said, we're going to apply this to the grocery category because I would be getting gift cards in order to pay for my gas. So I'll put gas now at 0. And I've applied the 200 to the grocery category. So for restaurants, I don't actually go to that many restaurants. I probably spend about $100 a month at restaurants. Bills, I spend on average, about $200 in bills. This is gonna be 1 point per dollar spent, but nonetheless, you're still racking up a couple points. Entertainment for me is about $25. Pharmacy, I probably spend about $25 in various things like shampoo and stuff like that. But we're gonna put it in this category here because we can buy all that stuff at a grocery store. Other purchases now, just various things. I'll put about $100. And then travel for me is pretty much only a bus pass that I have. That's $100 a month, but I renew it at the Couche-Tard like we looked at earlier in the video. That gives me 5 points per dollar spent. So I'm just gonna apply it in this category to give me the 5 points instead of 2 in the travel here. We'll put that at 0. So at the end of the year, if I spend this much on average per month, I should be getting about $474 worth of points just from my actual spending. And then this would give me about $300 extra in the sign up bonus for the first year, from which we deduct the $120 annual fee for a total of $654 in your first year using the American Express Cobalt card, which I think is really significant and basically will give you a free trip. Now, we cannot talk about an American Express card and forget about the other amazing perks that come with the card. So let's quickly go over some of them. You can follow along on the actual American Express website if you want, but here are some of the notable mentions. So first of all, you get entertainment access, like front of line access, reserve tickets, upgrades and stuff like that, which could be good for you if you like to go out and do a lot of entertainment type of deals. Otherwise, travel, you get up to $100 US hotel credit on qualifying hotel amenities charged to the room, yada, yada, yada. And what I find really, really interesting here though is more the travel and shopping coverage. So any purchases that you make on this American Express card will be eligible to take advantage of all these things. So for example, flight delay insurance, baggage delay insurance, car theft and damage insurance, $250,000 worth of travel accident insurance, a purchase protection plan, and buyer's assurance protection plan. So basically what this means is any purchases that you make on this card, if it gets stolen, for example, you call up American Express and they will refund you the amount of that purchase. Otherwise, they have 24-hour customer service, fraud protection, emergency card replacement, stuff like that, pretty standard. And finally, eligibility. So pretty much anyone can apply for the American Express Cobalt card. You just have to be a Canadian resident and have a Canadian credit file. Otherwise, you need to be the age of a majority in your province or territory. So 18 in Quebec, 19 in Ontario, and whatever age it is for your province or territory. So that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope it gave you some value and basically gave you more information as to if the American Express Cobalt card is a right fit for you. If you do end up wanting to get this credit card to benefit from its amazing perks. So on that note, thanks a lot for watching, and make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel. I talk about a ton of different personal finance topics on a weekly basis.